I'm Greg Jarboe with the SES Conference Expo channel, and I'm here with David Meerman Scott, the keynote speaker for SES New York 2010.
And I'm looking forward to it. Good to see you, Greg.
So, David, you're going to talk about the new rules of marketing and PR.
Yes.
What were the old rules?
Yeah, so I mean, the old rules are about what you could do in an offline world. And you could buy advertising, you could beg the media for attention, you could have a tremendous amount of salespeople and go bug people one at a time. The new rules is just about reaching people by publishing content. But we all know that already.
So begging is outdated?
It's not. The ideas of reaching people offline are still valid. You know, if working with the media works for your organization, go for it. You know, if hiring a sales force is working, that's great. Spending money on advertising in an offline world is also great. I'm not suggesting it's an either-or proposition, but I think what marketers need to know is that when you're marketing in an online world, it is different. It's not about just buying banner ads. It's not just about getting a blogger to say something nice about you, although those things are fine. But it really is about publishing really great information, whether that's a YouTube video, like we're doing right now, or a podcast, or blog post.
You mean we're actually practicing what we preach?
Yeah.
Oh, what a shocking concept. So let's talk about your keynote. You want to give us sort of a sneak preview of some of the key points?
I love telling stories about people who are successful, and it's one of my favorite things to do. And I travel all over the world giving speeches. I was in Mumbai, India last week, Amsterdam in the Netherlands the week before that, and Tokyo the week before that. And everywhere I go, I try to come up with these interesting ideas of what people are doing online. So I tell a lot of stories and talk about how creating a really great piece of information can, in itself, become the basis for terrific search engine optimization. And you know, the crowd is reasonably sophisticated who goes to search engine strategies. So we already know this for the most part, but I think what some people forget is that the content that we create is really about you, the people we're trying to reach, and not about our own ego. And that's really the biggest thing that I see is people are creating this content and kind of thinking about themselves more than they're thinking about the people they're trying to reach. So I try to ram those ideas sort of home.
So you also have a new version of the book, The New Rules of Marketing and PR. These are the new rules.
The new rules. Well, I wrote this book originally in 2006, and it came out in June 2007 originally in hardcover. And at the time, you know, these ideas were pretty radical. It was one of the first books on this sort of subject. And luckily the book did well. It published in 24 languages, but that was before Twitter. That was
life before Twitter.
Life before Twitter. YouTube, very new at that point. Facebook was only for students. You had to have a .edu email address in order to get a Facebook account. So I really had to update it because I was getting these emails from people. Oh, you know, David, your book's pretty good, but you know, there's this new service called Twitter. Have you ever heard of it? And I'm like, oh my God, you know, I gotta fix this problem. So I completely revised and updated the entire thing, which came out in January of 2010. So now it's up to date and raring to go, and it's exciting because it's like launching a brand new book. About 30 or 40% of the content is brand new, a lot of new stories, and that's giving me a chance to get out there. And one of those stories, for example, was the Singapore Tattoo Show.
The what?
Singapore Tattoo Show. And these guys needed to launch this brand new show. It didn't exist. So how the heck do you launch a show in Singapore for people who are really interested in tattoos because they have tattoos or because they're tattoo artists?
Dave, I don't know, but I guess I should ask, right? So how do you?
And traditionally what you would do is, you know, you would advertise, you would try to get the media to talk about you. They created a Facebook group called Tattoo Artistry. And what they did was they aggregated the group of people who are really interested in tattoos in the Asia region starting 6 months before the event actually happened. And these people never really paid attention to folks who like tattoos in the Asia market before. And all of a sudden they're doing it with this Facebook group. And so people got really, wow, this is cool, there's this group. And by the way, they're putting on a show, a real physical show in a couple of months. January 2009 was the first one. And they originally had an ambitious goal of driving 5,000 people to the show. But because of this group and getting people interested, people would share with their friends. The tattoo artists would talk about it in their shops and say, hey, you got to check out this place, this group. And people were uploading photos. There's like thousands of photos of these really intricate tattoos on people's bodies. They drove 15,000 people to the show in its very first year. And they spent almost no money on marketing. So it's like these sorts of interesting stories and ideas that are going into the new edition and that I'm going to be talking about in New York in March.
So are you getting a tattoo for SES New York?
That's a secret.
That's a secret. Okay, you heard it here first. See David Meerman Scott at SES New York 2010 in March at the Hilton. Find out if he gets a new tattoo.